Welcome back. It's the pulse of the day, and we're picking up the pulse of the best performing sector on the NGX for 2023. Well on our way, we're seeing that the position in 2024 with over 100% year-to-date return. What is going to happen as regards all this? We'll take a look at the notable and recent activity on stocks within the sector, macro economy, and the equity analyst, macro and equity analyst, Omobolade Agboola, joins us to discuss this. You're very much welcome, Omobolade Agboola.
Good evening. Yeah, thank you for having me.
So if you look at what has been happening, the most expensive stock by face value on the NGX is Seplat. It hit a fresh high, inching towards 6,000 share price at 5,738 yesterday. What's your take about this? And you're seeing the profit taking today. What are your thoughts on the stock and its pricing? Do you foresee further rally in the market, or perhaps the market is we're going to see some correction ahead of what is happening throughout this week?
First of all, I'll start with what I think about the stock. So Seplat is a fundamentally sound company, and if you look at it, it's delivering revenue growth every year, strong earnings, and also returns for shareholders in terms of consistently paying dividend. So, and if we look at recent news about the MPNU deal that is in completion, the ANOC project that is also in completion, all these things are business accretive for Seplat, and also strengthening my view that it's a fundamentally stock company. These assets and these deals are expected to improve Seplat's operation in terms of production by 2 times, improving oil production, gas production, and also in terms of assets. We are also expecting to see significant improvements in their assets. So I believe Seplat is a fundamentally sound company. In terms of pricing, it is not a surprise to us that it is trading above 5,000, because here at Chapel Hill, Denham, our target price for Seplat as of the earlier part of this year was 5,250 naira per share. And this target price just takes cognizance of ANOC coming on stream this year, that's in Q4, and it doesn't even take the full capacity of ANOC. So I believe that the price is reflective of the fundamentals of the company. And in terms of further rally or a correction ahead,
yeah.
I mean, in the short term rather, would expect some profit taking. We highlight that the price is trading at new highs. But if we are looking at the mid to long term, we still expect more rallying in Seplat. And this is because when they start to sweat this newly acquired assets and it begins to reflect on their financial performance, it brings more attention to the company. And if we look at how they reward shareholders, would expect that in going forward there may be an increase in dividend payments, right, which will also to spur rally on Seplat.
All right. If you look at the share price, by share price so far, you see that it's ahead of its peers. Perhaps if you compare it to Total is the closest rival. You're seeing that's 670 naira. That's the current share price of Total, and you see the gap between Total and Seplat. What will you say differentiates it, and what's your take about the difference amongst its peers?
My take is that a lot of things go into how investors see the absolute price of a stock. One is in terms of free float, liquidity, and that just simply means supply and demand. We highlight that Seplat is listed on 2 exchanges, and also in terms of free float is smaller in comparison to Total. And I would also like to highlight that both companies are playing in different segments of the oil and gas sector.
Okay.
Seplat is playing more to the upstream to midstream segments, while Total is on the downstream segments. So these are the things that will factor how investors look at the company and how they would price the company's stocks.
All right. I mean, it's great to have you in, Bolade. Let's move to another stock, right? Investors are also raising bets on Orando. The company hasn't released an audited financial statement in 2 years, but they have announced plans to release audited reports for financial year 2023, October 23rd. That's tomorrow, I believe. And, as a result, its market value has increased significantly. So far, it's just been news that has been driving the stock. So how much of a rally do you see it, getting, right, after the release of this earning report?
Like you rightly mentioned, it's sentiment that has been pushing the Oando stock. And in terms of how I expect the earnings to drive positive sentiment, I expect that the rally will continue if Oando is able to deliver results, and I mean earnings that are able to cover up the negative equity position that we can see in the unaudited 2023 financial for Q4. So unless we see that positive result that would, change the negative equity position, and which would just mean that it just gives investors that, there is even a likely notion that there will be dividend payments in the near future. I believe that is the only reason I've seen that can, continue to push the rally further.
Yeah, investors love a dividend-paying stock, but also staying with Oando, right? Looking at Oando amongst its peers comparatively, data suggests that investors do not, assign the same level of value to Oando as they do to Seplat or even the new entrant, Orando. And this is all despite Oando's impressive 600% appreciation this year. So why do you believe this is, and what value would you ascribe to Orando compared to its peers?
So looking at some of the things that investors would like to look at is the fundamentals of a company. Are you consistently delivering good, strong earnings? Are you consistently paying dividends? Those are the things that investors also consider when pricing a stock. So I believe that that's the reason why investors are placing more value on other oil and gas stock in comparison to Oando. In terms of value, or rather target price for Oando, here at Chapel Hill, we don't cover Oando, and so I cannot give you a particular price or value that I expect that Oando will be able to do.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, looking at the sector as a whole, it's been on the decline from 2015 to 2020. And then 2021 we're seeing that the rebound started in 2021. What will it take to sustain latest records as best performer? And are there any headwinds and perhaps looking at some gains in the sector?
For the sector, I believe that what will continue to sustain positive performance in the oil and gas sector is stronger earnings, positive corporate disclosures, and we can even see that the current administration is supportive of the sector, as we've seen 4 out of 5 major deals being completed or receiving their approval. So going forward, the positive sentiment in the sector is still large. One challenge that I think that may be a headwind is global oil prices. That's if there is a significant drop in global oil prices. I'm speaking more to the upstream sector of the oil and gas industry. So that is the only headwind I can see currently, but I don't expect any materialization of significant drop in oil prices in this year.
Okay. Omobolade Agboola, I want to say a very big thank you for coming to Market Pulse. Do have a splendid week.
Thank you very much for having me.